This is Capitol View with your host, Jesse Tenor.
This week on Capitol View, we begin our series of legislative forums, starting with the candidates for Senate District 33, covering parts of Saline and Pulaski counties. You heard the candidates, Republican State Representative Kim Hammer and Democrat Melissa Fultz, talk about health care, ethics, and the casino amendment on the November ballot. Here's the rest of our forum, including the candidates' thoughts on what should come next after several recent deaths in a maximum security prison. In this Capitol View web exclusive. Another big topic in 2019 I wanted to get to is the prison system issues. So I know just recently, we've had those 5 inmate deaths in 4 days, suspected K2 overdoses. We're still not sure. A K2 researcher that I had on last week, he was saying that something the legislature could do is change the schedule for K2, and that might help. Going in, though, to 2019, if elected, how would you tackle some of the prison issues that we're having? I'll start with you, Representative Hammer.
Well, first of all, I think you need to recognize that there is a decrease, and that doesn't get talked about very much, which is that our excuse to say we don't want to do more. Can't ever be. 5 deaths is unfortunate. There are others that are still ill by that. The reality is, in the free world, if people want to make decisions, they're going to make decisions no matter what laws or what safety guards you have in place. Okay, it becomes an individual's responsibility of what they choose to get involved with. I think in the prison system, one thing we do need to look at is what are we doing to educate the inmates as far as getting them off an addicted state, okay, and doing more, because that will prepare them for when they're released to get out into the free world and not get dependent on those substances again. There is an improvement. Is it where we need it to be? No, I think we need to do more in that area, and this is now the hot topic, okay? So there's going to be a lot of ideas coming out as far as what we should do, and I think between now and the end of the year, moving in January 19, we'll find a solution that will take us on the next step to making it better than what it is.
Melissa, what's your proposal?
Oh, way different. Number one, the prisons are overcrowded, and putting a nonviolent drug offender in prison is economically ridiculous, number one. It destroys their life, number two. It costs $33,000 to house one prisoner a year in the jails. $33,000. Not only that, once they get out of the prison system, they have a felony on their record for a nonviolent crime. So what happens? They can't get a decent job, and even if they have an education in prison, they can't get a job. They have a felony on their record. That follows them for the rest of their lives. That's got to change. We have got to, and another thing, once you get in the system, you really never get out of the system because it does follow you. But once again, we have to do something for those that are in prison now, but we have to do more to prevent more from going into prison. Let's look at the prison system. It's mostly low income people of color. Once again, if we start with a good pre-K program, a good public education, and a good opportunity for job training when they get out of school, it's going to prevent many of those people from going into the prison system, which we've all seen has failed. And one thing, if I can go back to the pre-K for just a second, he talks about we don't want to take the parents' rights. We don't want to make those decisions for parents. We don't want to make decisions for the local. Well, as someone who has grandchildren that one of them just got past the pre-K age, she did not get to go to pre-K because there was not enough funding for her school to have enough spots for pre-K. So fortunately, my son and daughter-in-law were able to work with her at home. We worked with her at my house, and she was okay. But what about the kids whose parents are working 2 and 3 jobs? They can't afford to go to a private pre-K. They can't afford for all these other things, and there's not enough spots for their child to be in that pre-K program. So we say, oh yeah, we'll just let the locals take care of it. Oh, we'll just let the parents take care of it. We have to provide enough money that every single child that needs to go to pre-K, whose parents want them in pre-K, have the opportunity to go to pre-K. And right now we're not doing that. We're falling terribly, terribly short on that.
And be sure to catch Capitol View on the air Sunday mornings at 8:30 on KARK right before Meet the Press.